Yes, you heard that right. No more marriage-based green cards. That's the message spreading across immigrant communities right now. The changes that are coming out of USCIS are so intense, it might feel like that door is closing. Hello everyone, welcome to the U.S. Immigration News. The Trump administration government has made it harder than ever for couples to prove their marriage is real. The rules for obtaining a marriage green card are becoming increasingly strict. If you're married to a U.S. citizen or green card holder and you're thinking of applying for legal status through marriage, this video is your wake-up call. Interviews are now mandatory, fees are higher, delays are longer, and even honest couples are being pulled into intense scrutiny, document audits, and surprise home visits. What used to be a straightforward path to permanent residency is now a legal maze, and one wrong step could cost you everything: your green card, your status, even your chance to stay together in the U.S. And in this video, we'll walk you through every major rule change, what USCIS is now looking for, and how you can protect your future as a couple under the new 2025 policy landscape. If you're liking this video, please hit the bell button, subscribe, and like it so that you may get updates straight to your smartphone. Now let's get into the video. This year has brought significant changes to the U.S. immigration system, but few updates are as personal, emotional, and consequential as those affecting marriage-based green cards. In 2025, the process has become more demanding than ever. For couples hoping to build a life together in the United States, understanding these changes is critical because the rules have shifted, the stakes are higher, and the scrutiny is more intense. In March 2025, USCIS implemented sweeping revisions to how it handles spousal green card petitions. These adjustments affect everything from how you file, to how your marriage is reviewed, to how long you might have to wait. They're part of a broader push by the Trump administration to tighten family-based immigration pathways, with marriage cases now under particular focus due to what officials describe as a rise in suspected fraud. One of the most immediate changes is the requirement for in-person interviews across nearly all marriage-based cases. In the past, couples who submitted overwhelming evidence of a bona fide relationship could sometimes have their interviews waived. That's no longer the case. USCIS officers now want to see both spouses face-to-face, with more in-depth questions and little room for inconsistencies. Even couples married for years are being called in, often with little warning and high expectations. In tandem with the interview mandate, USCIS has also upgraded its fraud detection protocols. Officers are digging deeper into financial records, daily routines, and the very nature of a couple's relationship. Couples are now expected to provide far more than joint bank statements or a shared lease. They must be able to show a full picture of their life together: tax filings, utility bills, family photos, travel itineraries, insurance policies, and increasingly, social media history. Platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and even messaging apps are being reviewed for consistency. The government is looking not only for proof of togetherness, but for signs of deception. All of this means the threshold for proving a real marriage has been raised. And with that, the process itself has become longer, more expensive, and far more stressful. In 2025, updated USCIS forms must be used for all spousal petitions, and older versions are now rejected automatically. Filing fees have also climbed significantly. Couples submitting Form I-130 and I-485 together can expect to pay over $2,500 in government fees alone, not including the cost of legal support or translation services. This increase reflects not only inflation, but also new line-item fees meant to fund expanded enforcement. Another consequence of the new policy framework is longer wait times. For couples applying from within the U.S., the average processing time for a marriage-based green card now ranges between 14 to 22 months. If the spouse is living abroad and going through consular processing, the timeline stretches even further. Embassies in high-volume regions have reported wait periods of up to 2 years, with appointment backlogs, background checks, and document review bottlenecks all contributing to the delays. More than just slowdowns, couples are now facing higher risks of denial. USCIS is operating under an assumed posture of skepticism. Officers are trained to look for red flags, including significant age differences, short periods of courtship, separate living addresses, or a lack of a common language. While these factors alone don't mean a relationship is fraudulent, in 2025 they can easily trigger deeper investigations. Even couples in long-standing marriages are not immune if they fall short on documentation or provide unclear answers during their interview. Perhaps the most intimidating development this year is the return of unannounced home visits. USCIS field officers are now authorized to conduct surprise checks for certain cases flagged as high risk. These visits aren't formal interviews, but they are assessments, and what officers observe can influence your case. They may note who answers the door, the presence or absence of shared belongings, or even the dynamic between spouses. While couples aren't legally required to let agents into their homes without a warrant, refusing entry can raise suspicion. It's a difficult situation for anyone to face, especially without legal guidance. What does all this mean for couples in 2025? It means the margin for error is razor thin. There is now very little tolerance for incomplete applications, vague answers, or missing paperwork. Every detail matters, from how you describe your relationship, to how consistently you file your taxes, to whether your social media timelines match your official story. USCIS is not just evaluating your paperwork, it's evaluating your life. The response from the immigrant community has been mixed. Many couples, particularly those with simple, straightforward relationships, view these new measures as unnecessary obstacles. Others, especially those with cultural or logistical complications, feel targeted. For instance, in some communities it is common for couples to live separately for economic or family reasons. These arrangements are now being viewed with heightened skepticism. Likewise, couples who met online or had a short engagement are being asked to go the extra mile in proving the legitimacy of their union. The consequences of a denial can be devastating. A rejected green card petition doesn't just mean going back to the drawing board, it can trigger removal proceedings, visa bars, and years of legal complications. It may force families to separate or live in constant uncertainty, and the emotional toll, particularly for newly married couples trying to build a future, can be immense. Yet amid the uncertainty, preparation remains the strongest form of protection. Couples are being urged to gather comprehensive, credible, and current documentation, not just at the time of filing but throughout the entire review process. That means keeping joint records updated, filing taxes together when possible, and being prepared to explain every aspect of your life together in detail. Practicing for your interview isn't just smart, it's necessary. Understanding your shared history from where you met to how you handle everyday life can make or break your interview outcome. It's also essential to stay on top of policy changes. In 2025, USCIS has signaled that more reforms are coming, possibly involving technology-based background checks, enhanced biometric data collection, and even greater integration with federal databases used for fraud detection. For green card applicants, this means even minor discrepancies can become major roadblocks. For example, if your mailing address doesn't match your tax return, or if your bank statements reflect separate living expenses, USCIS may question the authenticity of your marriage. At the same time, it's worth noting that the legal community is pushing back. Immigration attorneys and advocacy groups are challenging what they see as excessive enforcement, urging Congress and the courts to reconsider the balance between national security and family unity. But change, if it comes, will not be immediate. For now, the best path forward for most couples is to over-prepare and to treat the process with the seriousness it now demands. If you're applying for a green card through marriage, now is the time to get organized, stay informed, and when necessary, seek expert guidance. The system may be more difficult, but success is still possible, and your future in the United States is worth the effort. That's all we have for this bulletin. The U.S. Immigration News Channel provides all necessary visa information and procedures for your U.S. immigration journey. It is important to understand the United States immigration processing steps, visa application requirements, processing times, forms, fees, and more. We will continue to provide all information about U.S. visitor visas, such as B1 and B2, work visas such as L1A, L1B, and H1B, student visas, green cards, immigrant visas, EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, and EB5, and family immigrant visas. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the U.S. Immigration News Channel. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.